Welcome to the EPG Padashala, the lecture series in computer science for the postgraduate program, and this is the compiler design paper, and we are on module 36 where we will be talking about global data flow analysis. The objectives of this module are to understand the need for data flow analysis, to learn to comprehend data flow analysis from an optimization perspective, to know the computation of data flow equations, parameters for the various types of statements. Okay, so far we have basically looked at some of the basic optimization techniques where we have looked at the function preserving transformations and some control flow analysis. Now continuing our discussion on that, we are now on the global data flow analysis. So we should have a knowledge about the behavior of a variable, and that is necessary for performing all the transformations. So essentially ultimately the data flow analysis as well as the control flow analysis leads to optimization of the basic block only. So how do we identify? So in the previous modules we have simply said how to optimize, rather I mean what are the areas, what is the place to look for optimization. Now ensuring that it obeys the proper data flow, we have to do this optimization. So your common sub expression elimination or your copy propagation or whatever it is, when it is going to be done across basic blocks, which is the global optimization, we have to ensure that the values are not going to be changed, that is the semantics of the statements are still preserved. So in order to efficiently do that, we need to perform global data flow analysis. So in addition to that, control flow information is also required to do transformation across basic blocks. In addition, to apply global optimization on basic blocks, data flow information is collected by solving systems of data flow equations. So we will be concentrating on forming the data flow equation and solving that, which is going to be leading you to identifying the common sub expression, identifying the copy statements, identifying the expression common live variables, and so on and so forth. So we will be focusing on that in this particular module. Suppose we need to determine the reaching definitions for a sequence of statements S. Okay. So what variables definition will reach a particular point, then it is defined as out of S, that is the definition that will be out after a particular statement S, that is given by gen of S. Gen means here generated, what these statements generate as definitions, union whatever was given as an input to this particular statement, okay, minus whatever this statement basically kills. So a particular statement will definitely generate a particular definition, and depending upon what definitions reaches a particular statement and whatever it kills, that is subtracted here, and that is combined with whatever definition this particular statement generates. Now this will be the out of a particular out of any statement, and this information at the end of a statement S is either generated within the statement S, or something enters into the statement at the beginning, but it is not killed by this particular statement, is called as what will be the state definition reaching out of a particular statement S. So we need to define and look at the factors for setting up this data flow equation. So notion of killing and generating depend upon the desired information and on the data flow analysis problem to be solved. So this data flow analysis problem, if we are looking at common sub expression, we have to take into account what is the expression that gets killed or what is the expression that gets generated, etc. If we are looking at reaching definitions problem, we have to ensure that what definitions reach a particular point and what definitions comes out of a particular point. And so depending upon what we are optimizing, which computation we are trying to optimize, that parameter should be used for setting up this data flow equation. So for example, here some problems out of S need to be defined in terms of in of S, and for some other problem in of S should be defined in terms of out of S. So whatever comes out of a particular statement could be based upon the in, or sometimes whatever will be the in will be based upon the previous out or subsequent out. So that is essential. Data flow is interrupted by the control flow of the program. So obviously you have to move in multiple directions, so therefore that is also to be incorporated in your data flow statements. So out of S is typically based on the assumption that there is a unique endpoint. Okay. So we have already talked about this loops and control flow already in the previous module, where we have said that every loop should have, every control flow graph should have one entry and one exit point typically to speak with. Multiple entry and multiple exit points are difficult to handle, and therefore, this is also the assumption which we are using it to compute the out of a particular statement. And assignments through pointer variables, procedure calls, assignments to array variables will also influence the data flow, because you are directly handling the section of the address. So, therefore, that is also going to influence the data flow equations. Now, consider this example. I have one basic block here, D1 is the definition of this particular statement 1, D2 I am talking about that as definition of the particular statement 2. So, statement 1 defines I, statement 2 defines j, and statement 3 also defines j. So, here what are we going to do is we are going to look at some terminologies before actually going on to computing the data flow equations. So, the terminologies will be point and path. So, the position between two adjacent statements is called as a point, okay, from one point to another point, whatever sequence of statements you encounter is called as the path. Now, in addition to the position between two successive statements, the position before the first statement and the position after the last statement of a particular basic block will also be looked upon as a point. For example, here in this thing, I have basic block 1 has got two statements. So, between definitions D1 and D2, I have a point. There is one point available above I and there is one point available below j. Similarly, for block B2, there is a point available above this statement D3 and there is a point available after the statement D3. So, I am looking at that as a point. Now, between this, for example, if you call the first point as P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, between points P2 and P5 for example, there are two statements which is nothing but D2 and D3. So, that could be your conclusion. So, we define what is called as a point and a path. So, point is between any two successive statements, or in addition to that you can also have a point as one which is above the first statement and after the last statement. So, here consider all the blocks and each will have many points, and typically what happens is the last point of the current block is merged with the first point of the successor block. Okay. So, therefore, they can basically be looked upon as a single point when you look at data flow across all basic blocks. So, this is one point which we have to consider. Path is a sequence of statements between any two points, that could be your conclusion. Now, we are going to look at the problem of reaching definitions, where we will be looking at the data flow equations and the data flow computation for the various constructs of statements. Now, definitions basically means that supposing I have a statement and this statement will be typically an assignment statement, for example, say, so for example, x is equal to y plus z, that is going to be an assignment statement. Now, this statement defines x, that is the LHS variable is said to be defined at a particular statement, okay, and that is what we are looking at. So, which definitions will reach till which particular point is what we have to compute. So, formally stating, a definition of a variable x is a statement that assigns or may assign a value to x, and this is called as an unambiguous definition. So, if that is an unambiguous definition, then there should be an ambiguous counterpart. If x is typically used as a parameter of a procedure or through a pointer, then this definition is said to be an ambiguous definition. So, that might lead to some inconsistency of values. So, therefore, it is called as an ambiguous definition. Now, supposing a definition D reaches a point P, if there is a path from the point immediately following D to P and D is not killed in that particular path. For example, I am defining a variable x at a particular point P, and supposing say I am looking at some other point Q in the path, okay, between point P and point Q, if the variable definition x is not being killed, I will say that this variable x reaches y, reaches the point Q. That is what is we are trying to look at here. Now, kill is between two points where the variable is defined and it is being redefined. So, When I say killing, I mean it is not completely lost. It means that that variable is reassigned. For example, I have a statement x is equal to y plus z in one particular statement number, for example say 10. Statement number 15 redefines x is equal to y into y, for example say, because that requires it. Okay. So, in that case what happens is you are trying to set to be trying to kill the earlier definition of the variable x. Okay. Now, typically for a loop variable, what do we do? I is equal to I plus 1, this value gets incremented as and when we move on, right. So, therefore, we will say that the value of I gets killed by the subsequent iteration of I. Okay. So, this is for example what we look at. So, typically this is a data flow equation, out of S is equal to gen of S union in of S minus kill of S. So, here in this example, D1 is a definition and D2 is a definition, D3 is a definition. So, definition D3 kills the definition of D2. Okay. So, where J is again redefined here at D3, D2 was the place where J was defined first, and D3 redefines the value of D3, defines the value of J. So, what gets generated out of this particular basic block, okay, rather out of this particular statement D3 is nothing but what gets generated by D3 union what gets entered into this statement D3, okay, minus what gets killed. Okay, that is going to be your situation for out. So, for example, in this example, out of B1 is gen of B1 is equal to D1 comma D2. Out of B2, why do we say that? Here in this example, there are only two statements, and that is the first block. Therefore, out of this basic block is nothing but whatever gets generated here only. So, there is no in and there is no kill. So, in is nothing gets entered here, and therefore, nothing is getting killed also here. So, D1 comma D2, and out of B2 is gen of B2 union D1 which is equal to D1 comma D3. D1 reaches B2 and that is going to be the situation here. So, and D2 reaches B2 but not B3 because D2 is killed in B2, because the second block redefines J. So, therefore, it is not, it is getting killed at B2. Now, how do we compute this actually? How do we use this computation? Can we just directly compute? So, that is what we are trying to look at in this particular module. So, typically we are looking at structured programs here, where the assumption is there will be a single entry and a single exit point, and this is going to be my grammar. S produces ID colon equal to E, S produces S semicolon S, or if expression then statement else statement, or a do while. That is, my statement can basically be either an assignment statement, or it could be a sequence of two statements, or it could be an if else construct, or it could be a do while construct. So, in all these statements, how am I going to perform data flow analysis is what we are trying to look at in this particular module, where expression can typically be a ID plus ID or an ID. So, I am ignoring the expression here, I am assuming that it is going to be taking this ID only, where it could be evaluated for some value already and you have the value of true or false available here. Okay. So, we are not looking at this expression per se here. So, where here this expression corresponds to ID plus ID, or I can say that this will be ID. Typically speaking, I should have a combination of relational expressions as well as I should have a combination of arithmetic and logical expressions, but I am not, because the focus is not that. The focus is on looking at the definition that reaches a particular point in your program. And there is a unique header at which control begins. This is the next assumption. Now, let us say that, consider this, okay, what are we going to do now? We look at all these possibilities of statements and see how your gen, kill and of course your in will vary, and depending upon that, once gen and kill will vary, in also could vary, and depending upon that my out will be defined. So, here let us look at case by case. The first one will be to look at S produces ID colon equal to E. Now, statement is of the form definition is A is equal to B plus C, for example say. Now, this definition, this statement number, this definition defines the variable A. Okay. Now, if this is my situation, gen of S will be this definition only, that is that particular statement defines the variable A. So, it is nothing but containing that particular line number only, and kill of S is dA minus D, that is all other definitions of A minus this definition of D will be the kill set. Okay. We will be focusing here on set notation, or we will also look at the binary bit representation of your statements. So, here I am looking at because once the set notation is formulated, we can basically convert that notation into a bit vector representation. Now, kill of S is this definition of this definition has killed all other definitions of A. Okay. So, we will consider that as formally as dA minus D, where dA is the set of all definitions of A in a particular region of code. Okay. So, dA minus D, that is going to be your kill of S. Out of S will be gen of S union in of S minus kill of S. So, the first constraint is to determine gen and kill, and once that is done, we can compute in. Okay, in will basically be based upon the out. Okay. So, we will compute block by block in, we will compute statement by statement in, and then that can be used for computing your out. Now, the next one is reaching definitions where S produces S1 semicolon S2. Now, this is my left hand side statement. So, S produces S1 semicolon S2. So, what happens actually is this statement is a combination of these two statements. So, what will be generated by this statement will be, I can simply say S1 will generate a sequence of statements, S2 will generate another sequence of statements. So, can I simply say it is union of these two? The answer is no, because whatever statement gets created here could be killed by S2. Okay. So, definitely it is union of these two, but to start with, this is gen of S2, whatever S2 generates union S1 would have also generated something. Okay. So, it is nothing but just looking at this component and this component alone, but the generated statement of S1 could be killed by S2. So, I subtract kill of S2 from gen of S1, that is going to be appended with gen of S2 to get my overall generated statement. So, these two blocks together will generate whatever S2 generates union whatever was generated by S1, but it is killed by S2, that will be ignored, and then the remaining will be accounted for. Similarly, kill of S will be kill of S2 union kill of S1, but whatever is getting killed at S1 could be generated by S2 also. So, kill of S2 union kill of S1 minus gen of S2, that is going to be the situation. Now, in of S, the input to this block is nothing but input to S1, and out of this block is nothing but out of S2 only. Okay. And one more tagging is in of S2 will be out of S1. Okay. That is also going to be another situation. So, we will basically determine the gen and kill of all statements to determine your final combination. Now, the next statement is of the form if expression then statement else statement. So, we have already said that in a data flow graph, in a control flow graph, you will not have a decision box, but we will simply say you can either go here or here. So, you will have both the representations in the control flow graph. So, similarly here, now my statement S comprises of two components, two paths basically. Now, gen of S will be something could be generated by S1, okay, and something could be generated by S2. I have to account for both. Okay. That is why gen of S is gen of S1 union gen of S2. Whereas, okay, supposing if I follow this particular path, it will be gen of S1 only, which is okay. In that case, gen of S2 will be null. If I follow this particular path, it will be gen of S2 only. In that case, gen of S1 will be null. So, therefore, gen is fine. But what about kill? Can I simply look at kill also in terms of gen? The answer is no. Supposing I choose this particular path, okay, it is nothing but only kill of S1. It is not going to consider kill of S2. Okay. So, but sometimes if you can take this particular path, in that case it is going to be only kill of S2, it is not going to be kill of S1. So, what happens actually is, why am I looking at the intersection is, sometimes S1 and S2 may not have a commonality definitely. So, it will be either kill of S1 or kill of S2 only, but not necessarily both. So, that is why it is kill of S. and input to S1 will be input to whatever input was given to S. Similarly, input to S2 will be also whatever was given to S. Out of S will be out of S1 union out of S2, though the you are going to follow only one particular path, it is simply based upon this gen value. Okay. So, when I choose this particular path of S2, okay, in that case I will be using only kill of S2 and vice versa. So, it is not going to be union, because if I am computing union, that will result in choosing both the killed definitions. So, it will be included multiple times, that is why we are not looking at kill. Now, the next one is the do while construct, where statements will be of the form do statement while expression. So, again as I can say, in of S1 is nothing, okay, gen of S is nothing but gen of S1, kill of S is kill of S1, that is the same, but out of S will be out of S1, again that is the same, but input to S1 is now from out of S1 union in of S. So, out of S1 union in of S, I can even say it is nothing but gen of S1 union in of S. So, whatever is generated by S1, that will be added with in of S to get my input to S1. So, because there is a feedback here, so whatever generated, that is also added to compute your out of S1 basically. Okay, so this is the next situation. Now, let us consider this example. I have here around D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6, 6 statements, and these 3 are the first few statements. I have a do while construct here. There is a 7th statement also, of course. There is a do while construct here, and inside the do while there is an if else. So, how does this get mapped to? Okay. So, there is a D1, D2, D3, I have a D4, D5, D6 and D7. I have 7 statements here. As you could see, this statement defines I, this is defining J, this is defining A, and the definition of I is killed at D4 and D7. The definition of J is killed at D5 and D5 only. The definition of D3 is killed at D6. So, we are going to first construct a parse tree. Okay. We will first construct a parse tree, and the parse tree will be, this is statement 1 followed by statement 2 followed by statement 3 followed by statement 4. So, I have 4 statements. Now, the 4th statement is actually a do while. Since I have 4 statements, this is the first statement, second, third, end of third rather, and this is the 4th statement. Okay. First statement, second, they are joined together as S1 semicolon S2, that will be your overall S, and that S was appended with another S to get your 3rd statement, that is appended with the 4th statement to get your this block, but this is nothing but a do while. Now, in the do while I have 2 statements. Okay, now look at the do while alone. I have statement 1, statement 2 and statement 3, where statement 3 is going to be an if else. Okay, so here statement 1, statement 2 of the do combined together, that is combined with the if else. Okay. Now, if else, there is very simple, if expression, I have S1 and I have S2 here. So, that is going to be my representation. So, my derivation tree is based upon the already known grammar construct, where you had statement 1 semicolon. Okay, if you could count the semicolon, you will be in a position to understand this better. So, 1, 2, 3. So, 1, 2, 3 I have, after that I have a do. So, that is why it starts here. Okay. And within that I have a 1, 2 semicolon. So, 1 and 2 corresponds to these 2 statements. Then I have the 3rd statement, which is nothing but an if else block. Now, every statement will compute a gen and a kill. Now, gen is simply D1. Okay. Now, for a single statement, or for the leaf nodes, it is easier to find out the statement, because what is the definition of gen? It is simply D. If a particular statement defines a variable, it is only D. So, here gen of D1 is D1, gen of D2 is D2, gen of D3 is D3, D4 is D4, D5 is D5, D6 is D6 and D7 is D7. So, it is a simple statement, it is fine. Now, kill of D1. Okay. Now, what did we say about the kill statement for a single kill function for a single statement? all other definitions of that variable minus this definition of that variable. Okay. So, all other definitions, for example, D1 defines I. So, it is all definitions of I minus this definition of I. So, wherever I is defined at D1, D4 and D7. So, capital DI will contain D1, D4 and D7, and this definition of I will contain D1. So, D1, D4, D7 minus D1 will be simply D4 comma D7. Now, we know how to compute the subtraction operator A minus B. Set A minus set B is nothing but whatever is in A but not in B. Okay. So, the result should contain elements from A only, but those elements should not belong in B. So, D1, D4, D7 will be capital DI minus D1 basically means I have to cut D1 to get the elements as D4 comma D7. Okay. Now, that is why this has got kill as D4 comma D7. Now, what about the kill of this statement is D5, because all definitions of J is nothing but D2 comma D5. So, D2 comma D5 minus D2 will result in D5, that is why this has got a D5. Similarly, for D4 is defining I. So, all definitions of I is D1, D4 and D7 minus this definition of I is D4, therefore, this is D1 comma D7. So, is the case for D5 and D6 and D7. So, that is fine. Now, coming back to this particular interior node. Now, this interior node is nothing but S1 semicolon S2. Now, we already know that when you have two statements S1 semicolon S2, according to the data flow equation representation, it is gen of that will be union of gen and kill will be union of the kills. So, this statement is this node corresponds to S1 followed by S2 situation. So, therefore, it is union of D1, D2 and kill will be union of D4, D7 and D5. Okay. Similarly, this interior node is also going to be this the LHS node which is D1, D2 and the RHS which is D3. So, it is D1, D2, D3 and kill will be D4, D5, D6 and D7. Now, what does it imply basically? After the first three statements, I have defined the variables I comma j comma a. Okay. So, gen is that is why D1, D2, D3 and I have these three variables available in all the others. So, kill after this three statement will include D4 to D7, that is why we have got it here. Now, to compute this node, I need to compute this particular node. Again, it will be this union this. Whatever do node computes, that will be computed as a union to get this. Now, to compute this node, I need to compute the interior node. Again, this interior node is nothing but D4, D5 union of these two and D1, D2, D7. Again, this is D6 and this is D7. Now, this is where it gets little tricky. So, for an if else block, the statement is comprising of the gen will be union of these two, which is D6 comma D7 and kill will be intersection of these two. So, D3 and D1, D4 there is no intersection at all, therefore, it is null. Now, as you could see, the intersection point is justified here because one path kills the definition of D3, the other path kills the definition of D1 comma D4. So, together we cannot say which has been killed. So, that is why we can say only the generated statements and not with respect to kill, that is why kill is actually intersection computation. So, you have D6, D7 here. Now, this interior node will be again union of this and this gen which is D4 to D7 and intersection kill will be D1, D2, D7, that is why you have here this is only D1, D2, yeah, D1, D2 and this is D1, D2 and this node is also going to be only D1 comma D2. So, therefore, this is also going to be D1, D2. Now, so this interior node will be a statement followed by this statement. So, it will be D4 to D7 as well as D1, D2 and D4 to D7 as well as D1, D2, okay. And S1 semicolon, I forgot to inform one point. S1 semicolon S2 will be gen of S1 union gen of S2 minus gen of S2 union gen of S1 minus kill of S2. So, therefore, D4, D5, D6, D7 is fine, but here for computing for computing this kill, so it is kill of S2 union kill of S1 minus gen of S2. Okay, if you remember the formula for the if for the S1 semicolon S2 situation, in this particular node it is kill of S2 union kill of S1 minus gen of S2. So, kill of S2 is null. So, null union kill of S1 which is D1, D2, D7 minus gen of this node which is D6 comma D7. So, whatever is in this minus this, that will be cancelling out only D7 resulting in D1, D2 as the component. I already said A minus B will be whatever is in A but not in B. So, the result will be from D1, D2, D7 only, but it is gen of S2 contains D7, therefore, D7 gets killed here and this node will have only D1 comma D2. Now, this node there is nothing on this node, so therefore, this gets propagated right away here and this is one node and this is another node. Again union will be D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. Okay. Okay. Now, how do we compute this node? Again gen of S2 union gen of S1 minus kill of S2. Okay. So, D4 to D7 will be there, gen of S1 which is D1, D2, D3 minus D1, D2 will be resulting in only D3. Therefore, this is got D3 to D7. So, is the case for kill. So, kill will be what? Kill of S2 union kill of S1 minus gen of S2. Therefore, D4 to D7 will get cancelled and that results in D1, D2. So, this basically we will continue this on the next module also, anyway just computing gen and kill. Now, this can be computed with reference to bit vectors also, where the first position corresponds to D1 and the last one corresponds to D7. So, whatever we have talked in terms of D3, D4, D5, D6, D7 etc., the corresponding bit is set to 1 if it is there, if it is not there it is set to 0. Accuracy, safeness and conservative estimation, this is the basis for computing this data flow equation for reaching definitions. Accuracy is defined as the larger the superset of reaching definitions, the less information we have to apply to code optimization. Okay. So, therefore, it should be as accurate as possible, and safe refers to the fact that a superset of reaching definitions is safe. Some may have been killed, so that is also to be considered. And we are going to do a we are actually doing a conservative estimation here and refers to making safe assumptions when insufficient information is available at compile time. That is, the compiler has to guarantee not to change the meaning of the optimized code. So, this is also one more thing and we will talk about more on this in the next module also. Now, assumption is that conditional expressions are uninterrupted and they will have only one branch of the two branches available, and the path of the flow graph is also going to be the execution path, that is also that is also an assumption. Now, for example, here suppose the branch of S2 is never taken. I think I already talked about this. Gen of S1 union gen of S2 will be S2 may not contribute at all, but still it will be using kill of S1 intersection kill of S2. Again S2 may not contribute, but we are still computing this. Typically, what is the accurate comparison should be, gen of S1 should belong to gen of S and kill of S1 should be superset of kill of S. That is what we should basically look at. So, if the expression is true, then this path may not be taken at all. So, in that case we are assuming some we are being conservative in that particular computation. Similarly, here in of S1 is nothing but in of S union out of S1. We can use a gen also, but to start with assuming that out is not available, but out of S1 depends again upon in of S1. So, therefore, out of S1 is difficult to compute. So, we start with the assumption that gen of S1 is going to be the availability. Now, this is overcome by having multiple iterations and ensuring that the values between subsequent iterations will not change, that will be the actual value of your computation. So, here in this example in of S1 is union of in of S union out of S1 and out of S1 will be gen of S1, this is the same formula. Solve for S in of S1 and out of S1 by estimating in of S1 using safe but approximate out of S1 is equal to null. You can then recompute and keeping on going, we can be in a position to come to a closure. Now, this is again one more scenario where you will compute it in multiple iterations and then try to optimize it. Now, on to summarizing this module, Data flow equations as part of code optimization was studied. The various computation of gen, in and kill for the different statement structure is also looked upon here in this module, and forming data flow equations and reducing the various statements for this construct was also studied. Thank you.